I'm David Pringle. I'm here in San Francisco with Tom Lambalot. He's the Chief Commercial Officer of Paratek. Paratek's been shortlisted in the GSMA America's Innovation Awards, which will be determined tomorrow. So I'm talking to Tom one day ahead of that. First of all, Tom, what makes Paratek innovative and different? Why have you been shortlisted for this particular award?
Well, I think what makes Paratek innovative is the service providers around the world now have some unique challenges. They have a plethora of new bands and frequencies that are made available around the globe. Lots of different air interface standards. There's continue to be innovation there. And it's created kind of a unique set of challenges, things that they didn't have to deal with when it was a voice-centric world, people just making mobile phone calls. But as data applications have come online, they realize that they need better performing handsets. And what Paratek brings to the table is the ability for the handset to optimize and to for any particular band, any particular mode, or any particular use case. So I think the service providers see that as unique and something that can help their cause, and we've been fortunate enough to get invited out to San Francisco to tell our story.
So essentially your technology is making the handsets more efficient, being able to download more data faster.
Download and upload. I think with the phenomena of YouTube, let's say, you have a lot of folks out there with ubiquitous coverage now, snapping a picture and wanting to upload it quickly. Handsets of the past, we're trying to deliver voice. It's not a really bandwidth-hungry application. But in this new paradigm, they become more and more, they just require much better uplink, much more power coming from the handset. And that's what Paratek helps it do.
I understand your technology can make a handset slimmer, lighter, smaller form factor, essentially.
That's correct. And in addition to that, much better performing in terms of current drain or efficiency. Better power savings on the battery. So there's a lot of benefits to the technology, up and down, for OEM service providers and the consumer as well. So.
And tell me a little bit about this idea of tuning in between different radio bands, different spectrum bands, and why that's going to become more important in future.
Yeah, I think, one item that I think service providers will start thinking about is historically, again, that they've not had to be concerned with, nor have they had the technology available to them. But when you look across the globe, whether it's Deutsche Telekom or Vodafone, Verizon, each of their networks is different. They have different frequency bands, different air interface standards they run, but they're all trying to basically do the same thing, right? Provide communications to their clients, to their customer base. And each of their networks is unique, right? Yet the handsets that have been delivered over the years have been more of a one-size-fits-all, if you will, right? So that's the old paradigm. The new paradigm is with tunability in the handset. It allows the service provider to take advantage of that. And when they look across their network, if a particular section of their network is, say, uplink limited, they're not getting enough out of the handsets. Once there's tunability in the handset, they can basically call upon those handsets to deliver more output power. So they really can tailor the handsets to serve their own unique needs, which is profound, given some of the challenges that they have to face nowadays.
And the number of spectrum bands in use is getting higher all the time, and that's an issue you can help with as well. More
and more. That's right. I think I was saying, I think the notion of convergence is a misnomer. It's really how do you embrace divergence? And we were on a call early part of last week. It was China Mobile, its representative, and there's about 200 folks on the phone. It was sponsored by a group called IWPC, and they were laying out what kind of handsets they need to cover the future. And all told, I think this gentleman said there were 50 bands around the globe, and more coming. So if you're a service provider, to be able to satisfy your own network needs, plus roaming agreements, and or an OEM trying to sell handsets into that kind of global market, which the major OEMs and ODMs are trying to do, it's a need for a paradigm shift, and we're fortunate to be there with a technology that can help them meet their challenges as well.
So tell me a little bit about the origins of Paratek. Where did Paratek come from?
Sure. The origins of Paratek, like many companies, came out of the defense side. We were no different. Back in 1998, the founder of the company was a gal by the name of Louise Gupta. She saw this kind of unique material. Its origins actually date back to MIT, a gentleman by the name of Arthur von Hippel, who discovered it. It was during World War II. It was all secret at the time and classified. But she was interested in this material that's, it's a permittivity, we have a technical term, but it changes with voltage, and said, that's probably got some, applications out there, some problems that it could help solve. So she worked an agreement with the government to take the technology out, continue to refine it, and make it where it was producible in high volume. And we're fortunate now to have, arrived at that point at a time when there's kind of a perfect storm of challenges, this notion of many bands, frequency bands of interest, many modes, air interface standards, whether it's GSM or CDMA or EVDO or LTE or WiMAX. And in addition to that, this notion of use cases. A use case for a mobile phone is no longer a person just making a voice call and having the head, the handset up by their head. So, oftentimes you see people with two thumbs, gripping a handset. Well, this presents a unique challenge to the performance of the handset. And again, in the old paradigm, with a fixed match, kind of one size fits all, it was adequate. But in this new paradigm, there's a need for Paratek's technology, basically. So.
And tell me a little bit about your background. Where did you come from?
My background is much the same. Grew out of the defense, the DoD, during the 80s. I graduated in communication theory, microwave engineering in business, and was working, started out at MACOM, which spawned many companies, some of which are fairly notable. Irwin Jacobs comes to mind. He was at MACOM and then formed Linkabit and Qualcomm, as we all know. Hughes Network Systems was another one. So when I had left MACOM, I went to a company called Filtronic Comtech. Was working on improving base stations, and I'd say it was arguably the best in the world at it, but doing antenna interface frame filtering. And on the heels of that, I was a CEO of a company called Envoy Networks. I was working on improving CDMA base stations. A bit more technical, multi-user detection algorithms, and some rocket scientists out of Princeton that were working with us, but that company was acquired by Texas Instruments back in 2002 as well. So much the same thing, out of DoD-related stuff into the commercial arena, and lots of challenges there as well, keep us busy. So.
And finally, what's next for Paratek, Tom?
I think what's next is just ushering in this tremendous opportunity that the company's worked hard at and had the foresight to invest a lot of money, a lot of time and effort to position it as well. So I think our now, the old cliche, timing is everything. Our time has come, and I think that's one of the reasons we've been fortunate to get invited out to San Francisco here to show some of the service providers and OEMs what Paratek's all about. So.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Tom.
Thank you.